Thursday evening, April the 3rd, 2003. The battle for Baghdad. The battle of wits between Donald Rumsfeld and Saddam Hussein is about to hot up. The first tanks of the US 3rd Infantry Division punched through the south perimeter wall of Saddam International Airport. The next morning, the colonel in charge describes what happened.
Came in here, busted the hole in the wall there behind you. Right around first light this morning, it was as if they woke up and looked around and said, holy cow, where'd all these Americans come from?
We can reveal that the Americans knew they could take the airport by surprise. Secret agents with satellite phones had completely infiltrated it.
I was able to enter Saddam International Airport from all directions, and I gave information to my friends and the coalition forces about how many troops there were and the types of weapons to be found. Of course, this was through high-ranking officers on the inside.
They found, amazingly, that the airport was almost undefended.
They had no heavy weapons at the airport. There were no more than 92 soldiers there.
But these men wouldn't see the fruits of their efforts. By the time US forces arrived at the airport, they had aroused the suspicions of Iraqi intelligence and were arrested and tortured.
These are from torture, with metal, wood, cables, whips, and electric shock. They were suspicious of us, but they didn't get anything.
In Baghdad, Saddam's Minister of Information brags to the world that the Americans at the airport are in for a big surprise.
Tonight, they are going to witness some unconventional stuff. يعني not conventional. راح نعمل بيهم شيء أعتقد راح يصير في مثال جميل جدا لهؤلاء المرتزقة. A pretty example for these mercenaries to. أنا لا أكشف.
But Saddam knows better. He has to get his troops to the airport, and soon. This is, of course, a problem. Most of the Iraqi army has either gone home or been destroyed. So who can fight the Americans? Nothing but a few remnants of the Republican Guard, Saddam's Fedayeen, and Arab volunteers. And where is Saddam? The Americans don't know. We have discovered his whereabouts, and that he personally took command of the battle to retake the airport. We've been in contact with someone close to Saddam throughout the last days of the war. He has given us a detailed account of Saddam's movements.
This is Ma'ad al-Nasiri, is one of Saddam's bodyguards, and he is in fact Saddam's cousin, and he is the brother of Saddam's wife.
Abbas himself worked for Saddam's son Uday before fleeing Iraq and joining the opposition. He knows Ma'ad well.
You know, I know him. I am from the inner circle. I was working with Uday as his secretary for 15 years. So I know him very well from when he was very young. And I don't find any reason not to believe him.
Ma'ad's statement to us is read by an actor.
We moved Saddam from a secret shelter to the al-Tabul mosque at the beginning of the main street that leads to the airport. Inside the mosque, the information about the airport was confused. Nobody knew what was happening.
Even though the mosque is only 6 miles from the airport, Saddam doesn't know that the main American force is holding its position at the airport's southern edge. The Iraqis think the Americans have withdrawn. In fact, it becomes a trap. Throughout that evening, an estimated 1,500 Arab volunteers, Fedayeen, and remnants of the Iraqi army make their way through Baghdad's southern suburbs towards the airport. That night was one of the biggest bombardments of the war.
A new air attack started that shook even the city center. Our soldiers started running away randomly.
At al-Tabul Mosque, in the room Saddam's using as headquarters, the situation is desperate.
We started to read signs of the end on the face of Saddam's closest bodyguard. Every moment brought more terror and horror and surprises, and nobody could ask Saddam anything.
The next morning, Americans are walking around the airport terminal building, and all the Iraqi fighters are either captured, dead, or have disappeared. For Saddam, the situation is about to get much worse. Suddenly, 4 American armored vehicles storm past al-Tabul Mosque and head into Baghdad. After a few hundred meters, they stop, turn round, and speed off towards the airport. We've spoken to a local doctor who saw them.
At 6 o'clock at morning will become 4 tanks, USA, here. 3 stay here in the street, and 1 will be go to the center, Tahtan center, and become again. Stay here 13 minutes. Will be shoot anyone in street. Anyone.
Much to the doctor's surprise, a half an hour later, Saddam turns up.
After 13 minutes, Saddam will become here.
He called me over. I went towards the president and explained to him the whole situation, how the 4 tanks had come, how they crossed the road, and how they went towards the airport. He reassured us and said, we shall be victorious, God willing.
In fact, that morning, Saddam is to have an even bigger surprise. Coming up Highway 8 towards Baghdad and shooting all the way are more tanks. It is a major column of almost 60 American armored vehicles. Tariq Yassin, who lives near the highway, saw some of them pass by.
I saw the tank very fast enter to the direction of the Baghdad. Then I and my family walk very fast because we feel afraid and we want to escape from this place.
As the column approaches the roundabout in front of the al-Tabul Mosque, the firing becomes even more intense. Anything and anyone that moves is a potential target. The American troops have no inkling that Saddam's headquarters is right in front of them. We can reveal that his bodyguards in al-Tabul Mosque actually saw some of the American tanks pass by. Furthermore, at the same time, Saddam himself was inside.
I still remember the US tank which crossed the street in front of the al-Tabul Mosque while Saddam was still in it. The situation became very dramatic.
After about 3 hours, the American column arrives at the airport. The commanding officer is clearly elated.
We have taken out his defenses, so he really, all of his prepared organic defenses along with his equipment is all completely destroyed, and we destroyed probably in excess of 1,000 dismounted infantry.
What Colonel Perkins doesn't know is that he may have missed the catch of a lifetime. But Saddam knows that time is running out. Throughout the day, he moves from safe house to safe house, knowing that the Americans now control the airport. Saddam's henchmen also know the game is up. That night, in Baghdad's southern suburbs, secret police and Ba'athist Party officials desperately try to find places to hide.
You see this building, they use it for the Ba'ath Party. One of my friends, he is in the Ba'ath Party. He asked me, please, can you give me the key of your house? I asked him why. He said, if perhaps something happened at the middle of the night, I can run out very quickly and use your home. I believe that this guy, he think tomorrow everything will be finished.
Saddam is now on the run, moving to prearranged safe houses, working his way towards the north of the city, away from American troops.